Hello and welcome to our today's edition of News with me, Chari Dejalanka. First, let's have a look at the top stories. Pope Francis marks 34 days in hospital. Democratic Progressive Party DPP MPs snub Parliament over vehicle repair saga. State to start parading witnesses in Chisale's unexplained wealth case. And in this week's exclusive report, Thandiwe Mzumala gets reactions from trade industry kingpins and economic experts on the ban of importation of certain products. We do have the details to these and many other stories. Stay tuned. Vatican officials. Vatican officials have denied the rumors of Pope Francis' resignation. This comes after there were rumors that Cardinal Pietro Parrin, the Secretary of State, had a discussion on the matter on his visit to the Pope. We have this Vatican News report read by Rashida Matandika.
The Cardinal said he found the Holy Father in better condition during his March 9 visit compared with earlier encounters. Despite his delicate health, Pope Francis remains actively involved in church governance. The Pope gives instructions, said Parrin, confirming that Francis continues to make necessary decisions while hospitalized. A recent example of Pope Francis' ongoing Pope activity includes giving his Presidential Medal of Freedom, awarded by former U.S. President Joe Biden, to the Metropolitan Cathedral, where he served as Archbishop before he was elected Pope in 2013. Meanwhile, prayers persist for his recovery. In his homily at a Mass for the Pope's health, Archbishop Gala underlined Pope Francis' gratitude for the closeness and the prayer that rises abundantly to heaven for him.
Centenary Bank has reaffirmed its commitment to transforming lives through the provision of inclusive financial services, prioritizing the needs of underserved populations. Centenary Bank's Managing Director Godfrey Biakaso made the sentiments on Friday in Lilongwe on the sidelines of celebrations marking the bank's second anniversary. More details in this report are read by Herbert Katanda.
Centenary Bank's Managing Director indicated that the bank's mission is to cater to the bottom of the pyramid, providing financial services to those who need them the most. He said that this commitment to inclusivity sets Centenary Bank apart from other commercial banks in the country. The manager emphasized that the bank is not solely driven by profit, but instead adopts a triple bottom line approach, considering people, planet, and profit to ensure sustainability in its operations.
Well, Centenary Bank has, its mission is to transform lives through provision of financial services. And we are an inclusive bank, a bank for the bottom of the pyramid, a bank for the people. Indeed, it's your bank. It's a bank for everyone. And that's what differentiates us from the rest. We are not just a bank that makes profits, but we are a bank that cares for the triple bottom line, for the people, for the planet, and profit for sustainability.
Concurring with the manager's sentiments, Centenary Bank Board Director Linda Perry said the bank's mission is to provide banking services and products to every community that needs them, ensuring that all areas have access to financial services.
Well, we started, as you know, and as you've heard, from 22nd March when the bank was launched in 2022. And we are happy that the country, Malawi, and the banking sector embraced the coming in of Centenary Bank. We moved very quickly to develop our strategy, and the emphasis was transformation, and we've seen as a board, transformation happening, and we are happy with the strides that we've made so far, and we have our strategies that we will continue to implement in the next years.
Since its launch on March 22nd, 2023, Centenary Bank has made significant strides in expanding its services and products to cater to the diverse needs of the Malawi market. The bank is committed to redesigning its services to better meet the evolving needs of its customers. As part of its strategy, Centenary Bank plans to respond to future market demands through transformation and innovation, which will enable the bank to stay ahead of the curve and provide cutting-edge financial solutions to its customers.
Members of Parliament from the opposition Democratic Progressive Party DPP walked out of Parliament in protest of the legislature's failure to repair vehicles damaged during the President Lazarus Chakwera's visit on February 26, 2025. The cars, which belonged to MPs, were vandalized by unknown individuals while the President was answering questions from lawmakers. According to Mary Novicha, MP for Choro Tava, the damaged vehicles have not been repaired, leaving some of her female colleagues struggling with transportation. Novicha emphasized that as MPs, they cannot remain silent on the issue, particularly since the incident occurred within the secure of Parliament premises. Emmanuel George reports.
The vandalism incident has raised concern about the security at the Parliament building. Novicha pointed out that the damage was done despite the tight security measures in place, which has led to questions about the effectiveness of these measures. In an interview with Luntha television, Novicha reiterated that the MPs will continue to boycott Parliament session until the matter is resolved. She also expressed solidarity with her female colleagues, including Grace Kolepeta of Zomba Malosa constituency and Ron Chijeri, who are struggling with transportation issue due to unrepaired vehicles.
We've walked out from Parliament this morning as all female parliamentarians in solidarity with what happened to Zomba Malosa and the Zomba Chingale MPs. Their cars were damaged right here at Parliament during the presidential event here at Parliament. And since that time, Parliament hasn't taken any action up to now. We have been complaining, we have been sending our complaints to the Speaker.
Support the budget.
To the Speaker, but the Speaker hasn't taken any action up to now. It's now 2 weeks, and these women are struggling to move from point A to point B. You are aware they are MPs. They cannot use public transport. They are failing to go in their constituencies. We were expecting that Parliament should have given them temporary vehicles.
Victoria Kingston, MP for Mangochi Central, questioned the decision of the Parliamentary Committee on Service to hold a meeting in Mangochi to discuss the issue, which would cost 20 million kwacha. Kingston argued that repairing the vehicle would be a more cost-effective solution. But National Publicity Secretary for Malawi Congress Party, Jesse Gabwira, condemned the behavior of the female MPs, stating that it would not resolve this issue, but rather making things worse.
Tabling our issues, not hiding. Taking an ostrich approach is not going to help us. What happens when bills are passed here and you are not even there? What are you going to tell people? This is a clear indication that you don't know what you are here for. When you are representing the poor, some of whom will never step here, you cannot leave your duty station. In fact, you should be knocking on every door to make sure that you are speaking for the voiceless. And one way to speak for them is not to call for leaving Parliament.
However, Leader of the House from the government side, Richard Chimwendo Banda, advised against pointing fingers, suggesting it's better to wait for the report from the committee set up to investigate the matter.
And when a victim is crying out, you don't need to fight with the victim because they had their asset destroyed. And for that particular reason, allow them to cry out, allow them to seek support. But we only advise them to follow the procedure, even as they air out that thing. That outcry has nothing wrong. But you must make sure you follow a procedure in how you complain in the chamber.
The deflation of tires by the CCTV captured thugs took place on 26 February, about a month ago, but action is yet to be taken both by the police and the registrator. For Luntha News in Lilongwe, this is Emmanuel Juocha.
Financial Crimes Division of the High Court in Lilongwe has thrown out defense applications in the matter in which business magnate Leston Moli, former Secretary to Treasury Cliff Chionda, and former Secretary to the Office of the President and Cabinet Lloyd Muhara are being accused of conspiring to defraud Malawi Savings Bank Debt Collection Company. The presiding judge, Justice Violet Chipao, ruled against defense on their intent to stay the proceedings pending application for constitutional certification, but agreed with the defense to have the charge sheet amended and include more particulars to the charges. Both lawyers for the defense, Chance Gondwe and state lawyer Kamdonia Sulu, welcomed the ruling. We have more in this report, followed by Robert Edward, read in our studios by Gift Kalunga.
Following the court's order that the state should file and serve amended charge sheet and 2 new witness statements to the defense by 31st March 2025, and defense to respond on the disclosures within the same period. The proceedings of the matter have been stated on 24 April 2025. On Friday, Justice Violet Chipao disagreed with the defense on the permanent staying and stay pending constitutional certification application before the Chief Justice. However, Chipao sustained defense's preliminary objections to the charge sheet, saying the counts ought to include particulars for the defense to prepare in the spirit of pursuing fair trial. One of the lawyers representing the accused, Chance Gondwe, welcomed the ruling.
Much. As you are aware, we made the 3 applications before the court. The first one was that this proceeding should be permanently stayed for being an abuse of the court processing, because most of the issues pertaining to the charges we are basically contractual issues.
The prosecution lead by Kamdonia Sulu said they will serve the disclosures as directed by the court.
No, the main issue was that they were saying that the accused person got a debt from government and that this matter is repayment of the debt, and therefore it's a contractual matter, so it should be dealt with in the civil court and not go to criminal and get somebody imprisoned for a debt. Our argument was that we are not pursuing the debt, we are looking at the conduct of the accused persons during that process. So the case is not about the debt, but about the criminal conduct.
The accused business mogul, Leston Mori, the former secretary to the Office of President and Cabinet, Lloyd Muhara, and Secretary to the Treasury, Cliff Chionda, are answering charges of conspiracy to use public office for the advantage of Mori, among others. The charges relate to the setting of Malawi Savings Bank Debt Collection Company.
If you've just joined us, or know that you're watching news on Luntha television, now a reminder of the top stories. Pope Francis marks 34 days in hospital. Democratic Progressive Party DPP MPs snub Parliament over vehicle repair saga. State to start parading witnesses in Chisale's unexplained wealth case. And in this week's exclusive report, Thandiwe Mzumala gets reactions from trade industry kingpins and economic experts on the ban of importation of certain products. Moving on with the news, the High Court in Lilongwe will continue hearing of an unexplained wealth case involving former presidential bodyguard Norman Chisale on Tuesday, March 24th of 2025. On Friday, High Court Judge Violet Chipao gave the ruling on preliminary objections to the charge sheet, which she agreed with the defense to have the counts include some details, and at the same time disagreeing with the defense on the retrospectiveness of money laundering count. According to the Director of Public Prosecutions, Masauko Chamkakala, the matter in which Sally is being accused of accumulating too much wealth that cannot be explained in terms of its occurrence through legally acceptance, means will proceed on Tuesday and Wednesday when the state will parade its witnesses. Chamkakala speaks to Robert Edward and Gift Kalonga.
Well, today was a ruling on the preliminary objections which are raised by the defense, and the court has made ruling. We have amended the 2 counts. The court has dismissed one of the objections which was raised by the defense. So the case will be coming for hearing on Tuesday, 25th and 26th of March 2025. Well, in brief, generally this case is around the accused person that he accumulated wealth which is beyond the non-legal means of which he could have accumulated his wealth. So it's we're phrasing it as unexplained wealth case under the FCA. So the counts include having more than what you can declare, and also there's a count of money laundering.
Minister of Higher Education Dr. Jessica Kabila has reiterated the government's commitment to driving digital transformation in the education sector in line with the Malawi 2063 development agenda. She emphasized this dedication in Lilongwe while officiating the launch of Astria Learning's Office, a US-based educational technology company. Bridget Manoka reports.
Kabila described the launch of Astria Learning's office as a major step in modernizing higher education in Malawi. She emphasized the need to equip universities with advanced digital tools to improve learning, research, and job market readiness. Kabila also highlighted the government's commitment to working with the private sector to boost technology in education.
To higher education, which is one of the major mandates that Dr. Razas Makati has insisted on, because higher education is the engine of Malawi 2063. But if it is only accessible to a few, then we will not move many people into the middle class income. So this is a good day, because, and I think that's why you heard me emphasize that the title of my talk was, it is well in the soul of Dr. Razas Makati, because he is showing every day that through partners he is able to make more people access higher education. It also will help.
Astria Learning Chief Executive Officer Jeff Bowles said opening an office in Malawi shows the company's long-term commitment to supporting the country's education sector. He stressed that digital learning can help bridge education gaps, create more opportunities for students, and make Malawian graduates more competitive globally.
Well, for us, this is a symbol of our commitment to Malawi. As the Honorable Minister mentioned, we're not just here to make statements but not follow up. We're here to ensure that the local Malawian understands that we're here to support them at a local level. So for us, this is a stepping stone towards integrating deeper within the Malawian culture to ensure that our technology serves the people without losing the value of Malawi.
Currently, Astria Learning works with Luana and Unima, providing e-learning platforms and other digital tools. The company is also in talks with more universities to expand its services and improve online learning in the country. Bridget Mwanonka, Follow the News.
The Frames South Africa-based striker Gabadinho Mhango and defender Charles Pedro have been ruled out of the national team's squad to Tunisia due to injuries. The team will play against Tunisia's Eagles of Carthage on Monday in their next match of 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier. The team has left this morning through the Kamuzu International Airport. We have the details.
The team's coach, Callisto Passoa, sounded optimistic yesterday that his charges will deliver after a 1-0 home defeat by the Warriors of Namibia. He said the Flames have shown the possibility of changing the game after an elegant performance.
Yes, keeping possession in most of the areas. But yes, defensively we had numbers. But again, we ended up conceding when we had numbers at the back. And we didn't do much in terms of our attack. But second half, the boys increased the intensity. It's very unfortunate. Maybe we had our chances. And we could have got 1-2. But that's how football is all about.
With a 4-4-2 formation, Callisto Passoa used both Lloyd Aaron and Yanko Singo in the midfield yesterday, as the team played without number 10. As for the visitors, the majority of their players playing in South Africa's Premier Soccer League were dominant, as they pressed for all angles in search for a goal. The Flames lacked the much-needed pace to outsmart the visitors, with the first attempt at goal coming from Gabadinho Muhango, who saw his deflected wicker going for the first corner kick, which was easily defended by the visitors. As Malawians were hoping for a better first half, Namibians scored in the 41st minute through Tujeza, who was assisted by Shauli. In the second half, Muhango sustained an injury that forced him out of the match, and he was replaced by Chawanangwa Kawonga in the 53rd minute. The next 10 minutes were dominated by the visitors, who were enjoying possession and made more dangerous moves into Malawi's half, but they weren't critical enough to punish Passoa's men.
Industry kingpins and economic experts have expressed a diverse opinion over government's ban of importation of certain products in the country. A ban by Malawi government signed by the Minister of Trade and Industry, Vitumbe Kumumba, indicated that the ban was affected on vegetables and meat products, except those that are not produced in Malawi. The order further bans importation of fruits and other wooden products. In this week's exclusive report, Tandiwa Mzomala gets reactions from trade industry kingpins and economic experts on the ban of importation of certain products. Let's watch.
The of Malawi President Bangara Chikaza commended government for the decision to impose restrictions on importing goods from outside the country. She has told Luntha television that this move will help control foreign exchange and promote economic development. Chikaza emphasized that some imported goods have been depleting the country's forex reserves. She said by restricting these imports, the government can conserve forex and allocate it to more strategic areas.
Malawi is selling in Zambia. It has to be competitive in Zambia in terms of price and quality. Then we'll be exporting to Zambia. Zambia should not ban what is coming from Malawi on the basis that they are protecting their producer. They have to allow products from Malawi, and Malawians eat in Zambia, trade there, export there, and generate forex. That's how it works.
Malawi Confederation of Chambers of Commerce and Industry President Wise Lepiri was reportedly locked in a meeting by the time we contacted him, while the association's executive officer Dias Kambalame said the move is against the African Continental Trade Rules. In a separate interview, Consumers Association of Malawi President John Kabido said there need to be statistics for the ban to be clear.
And I think we should be talking about facts here, not opinions.
Yeah,
the minister hasn't even given me. And you are saying the same thing that you don't have any facts.
Small-Scale Business Operators Association of Malawi Secretary General Tenson Mulimbula fears that the move will likely lead to prices excretion of commodities.
As an association, we have received this news with mixed reactions. In the first place, we are against this importation ban, just because we feel that it will bring the spirit of monopoly business, because the local manufacturers will take advantage of the situation
In a separate interview, economic expert Kingsley Jassy described the initiative as a desperate measure. Jassy said the measure is likely to spark a trade war with a possible high turn of prices.
Depend on each other. What you import, other countries benefit. What you export, you benefit. That's why there is what is called balance of payment. Just need to manage it well so that you are exporting more than what you are importing.
In Malawi, importation of food and beverages, both primary and processed, constituted about 80% of food imports between 2010 and 2018, according to an Agicon research. This indicates that much of the food imports in the country are for direct consumption. According to a research by Mapata Institute, there was a drastic upsurge in food imports of about 64% between 2015 and 2016, while food exports grew by 2% during the same period.
That exclusive report read by Hilbert Katanda also brings us to the end of our today's bulletin, but let's have a recap of the top stories before we go. Pope Francis marks 34 days in hospital. Democratic Progressive Party DPP MPs snub Parliament over vehicle repair saga. State to start parading witnesses in Chisale's unexplained wealth case. And in this week's exclusive report, Thandiwe Mzumala gets reactions from trade industry kingpins and economic experts on the ban of importation of certain products. You've been with me, Charity Chilanga. Thanks so much for keeping me company, and continue enjoying the rest of our programs right here on Luntha TV. Have a lovely weekend.